knows that, right?
Where you are passing data to that UL? Nowhere you mentioned.
Yeah, I'll show you that.
What is this data inset?
Which one?
How are those
Data inset.
It is telling me that you put it inside this UL itself. This is specific to just list view. Okay. Yeah, you had some question?
I was wondering how are those organizations managing, like most organizations are very brave. They say that we will be using this browser and our website, internal websites will not be supporting these browsers. Let's say the old ones. Suppose they start moving to HTML5. Okay, and some end users are using HTML, some may not be using. And if you start using the features of HTML5 which are easy to maintain and develop, how is the maintenance for non-HTML5 browsers?
So there are libraries which gives
front-end server which distinguishes
whether it is HTML5
or then it redirects, and then you have maintenance taking place for both non-HTML5 web application and HTML5 application till your end users are out of.
Yes. So exactly, you named it. It is called a modernizer. So there is a library called modernizer which detects the HTML5 support on your browser and have that different route if it is a non-HTML5 or if it is HTML5. If you don't want to do that, let's say most of the times currently what people are doing is they are trying to use HTML5 semantics like a section or an element or an article, right? There are inbuilt JavaScript libraries over the on internet, something like HTML5 Shiv, HTML5 Shiv.js. If you do that, browsers like i7 or even i6 can understand those elements. Internally, what it does a native JavaScript or document.create element of this, all particular elements, and lets browser know that these elements exist in the document flow.
So these are includes in the
Yes. Okay, so there are
good plugins and available to do this easier. Just get it.
Maintenance becomes difficult if you're planning to move to HTML5.
Yes. And that is the whole basically challenge we have today, right? Because there are websites which are also only compatible with i7, right? The challenge is how you go ahead, and that's why people have came up with such solutions like HTML5 Shiv or Modernizer, that the breadth of a support should be sufficient, not even let's say look and feel wise, but at least with the functionality wise, right? And they are also in a notion that slowly that gets leave behind, and everybody is actually going to the HTML5 and latest browser supports, right?
You did say that jQuery Mobile does graceful degradation of feature.
That's what I showed.
Yeah, so does it work fine on i7?
Yes. So whatever the browser I showed you just now in the book is the i7.
All app to support.
Okay, so just to give you, I think a snapshot.
There was a question on question on
Yeah. How you put the data. Okay, so you saw this as your UL, right? Okay, in phonebook.js, as soon as the page is initialized, I am calling a refresh phonebook. Okay, what this refresh phonebook does, there is a literal object which is predefined set of your key value pairs. Okay, in the refresh phonebook, it does the initialization of a page. This has a different meaning in jQuery Mobile. It says initialize the page that I am going to change you. Okay, it does empty of the contact list, and it iterates over that phone book array and just append each li to your UL. And it does this while page is initialized. When we say page is initialized, when the DOM is ready to get changed. Okay.
Where is Mark 1, the entry you recently added?
Which one?
You added one entry, right?
Yes.
Where is it, Mark 1?
So that is inside now the JavaScript array itself, because when you are saving the atom, it actually putting it in the, pushing that atom to the list.
So if I do a refresh, will it go away? Or?
Yes, no, it won't go, because you have also add that in your local storage. That is what.
Can you show that JSON object restores?
Yeah,
Mark?
sure. So don't see it as a JSON object, it's actually a JavaScript object literal, which has a key value. Key is a phone book, value is an array of objects again. Understood? And when you are iterating what I have done, so basically phone book of, let's say, 0.name, phone book of 0.4, right? While displaying, I'm just doing phone book of I.name, okay? And that is also there in the local storage. We'll cover that later, but yes.
No, my question was, where does this get in? I mean, it gets stored online. I mean, how does it?
In a browser.
I'll show it to us.
That's the next section. Basically, it's you're talking about persistence.
Yeah.
So basically, there is a medium which is nothing but a browser itself, which stores this array inside you can say cache, but a browser, let's say a table or something, a key value pair or a hash table, which is called a local storage. Okay. Any other question on this one?
How big is this JS?
Size, I'm not sure. 149 lines, maybe less than a KB or
And I
something.
have grunt feature, right? Basically.
Yes, it's just a basic features we have, right? So just to give you a snapshot of the features, you can read it yourself, as it's built on a jQuery core and jQuery syntax. So from our learnings, as we were knowing jQuery, it took very little to learn basics of jQuery mobile and do advanced stuff. So I'm not covering few advanced stuff. When I say advanced stuff, actually going to a server, getting a data, doing the Ajax, and changing the page and everything. Okay, so we could do that with our knowledge on jQuery, because whatever the event listener jQuery has, which is like on click, on tab, on double click, can also be used using a jQuery mobile syntax itself. Okay, as we have discussed, it's compatible on major mobile and desktop platforms. It's a HTML5 markup driven, where I need to write a little code to attain the transitions or animations, or let's say to create a UI widget itself. It supports the responsive layouts. When I say responsive layouts, depending on width of my device, it scales down, right? And I can also use media queries. So I don't know, people have heard about media queries, CSS media queries. So CSS gives you a way to apply some CSS class only if width is this much. Okay, so this is a simple explanation of what media query can do. Okay, so jQuery Mobile supports that. It has a theming support, and you can customize these data roles or divs using the classes, where you need to put the important attributes to every attribute you have in the CSS class. Okay, and it's lightweight. And minimal image dependencies, when we say in CSS3 there is a concept called a gradient. Okay, so gradient is basically a background. In CSS you can give the color of those background, right? So instead of using images, you can actually use these gradients. So all the themes what jQuery Mobile comes up with, it uses gradients. So there is no use of images, so there is no network call to fetch the images. Okay, some images what the jQuery Mobile use, they are using CSS sprites. So CSS sprites is also one of the concept, or of what you say, a feature where you have more than one images inside one image. Okay, and using CSS you can show one image and change the background position of that particular visible portion of the whole image. Okay, so it uses that. So whatever the data icons we used, right, the plus or delete, it is one image totally, and it just changes the visibility depending on the classes. So it has a data icon plus as a class, data icon delete as a class. Background URL is the same for all, only the background position changes to show just a visible portion of that particular UI, what you say, icon. Okay, so that's all we had, like from the jQuery mobile perspective, because we wanted to be a simple and user-friendly application with a very basic page transition and the page layout. Okay, so in the next session we will use the same phone book application and convert it into an offline app. which Amey can explain. But till now, you have any questions or?
You said like jQuery will load some images, right?
Yes.
So that it will take from internet, is it from jQuery server?
No, those images folder you get it when you download the jQuery mobile JavaScript library.
It's not like single JS file.
No.
It
So
will-
you basically these images references will be in the CSS file of jQuery mobile. Okay, so this whole images folder you can put it inside your application and give a relative references to these images.
That's part of the 12 KB, or this is only
No, no, this is just a JavaScript. This is just a JavaScript. Minified, and basically minified in the sense you are getting rid of all the what you say break lines and your spaces and creating a consolidated file. Okay. Thank you.